Hi everybody, I'm here today to talk about this new epic collection coming out in December, X-Men Epic Collection Volume 21, the X-Cutioner song, or the X-Cutioner song, I guess is how you have to pronounce that. A lot of people have been looking forward to this volume of X-Men because it collects a very important story in X-Men history, the X-Cutioner song, but there are other people who are like, this story's been reprinted so many times, including X-Force Volume 2 in the Epic Collections. What is the difference between X-Force Volume 2 X-Cutioner song and X-Men Volume 21 X-Cutioner song? Well, the main thing is that Epic Collections usually collect maybe about 20 issues or 21 issues per book, and X-Cutioner song is only 16 parts. So there's room for extra stuff in each volume. And since these Epic Collections collect all of the books chronologically, it makes sense that they're going to put a few issues in here that are X-Force related and a few extra issues in here that are X-Men related. So let's have a look at the contents. So here are the contents of both. You can see that both of them include issues from X-Men, X-Factor, and X-Force, and Uncanny X-Men, and that makes up the bulk of the X-Cutioner song story. In X-Force Volume 2, we get a two-part Cable, Blood, and Metal mini-series, Strike Files, which actually is going to be in Volume 22 of Uncanny X-Men, and New Warriors 31, as well as one more issue of X-Force, number 19. In this one, we've got a bunch of issues of Uncanny X-Men that are not in this volume, and a bunch of issues of X-Men that are not in this volume. So you can see this one starts at 294. Here, X-Men starts at 289. And here X-Men starts, where is it, at number 14, but this one starts at X-Men number 10. So these ones carrying on from what happens in Volume 20, all of these issues are packed at the beginning before we even get to the long story. So let's go take a quick look through these issues here. You can see that we have some art by Whilce Portacio, some art by Jim Lee, as we have both Uncanny and X-Men issues mixed in. There's a Mojoverse story for those of you who like Longshot. There's a lot of stuff to do with Storm and her relationship with Forge in here, and some stuff with the Morlocks, and Maverick, a character named Maverick, gets his own backup features in here, and this is all before we even get to the actual story, which is further on down here. This is the story of Cable killing Professor Xavier. I do want to note that they fixed the moire pattern issues that were in X-Force Volume 2. These polka dot patterns, the zipatone is not reproduced well in these scans. Looks pretty terrible, but they actually did fix that for this X-Men issue. So it's all good. That's what I like to see. And of course, this is dealing with also a story with kidnapping Scott and Jean, and a bunch of the X-Men have to go find them. X-Force gets involved because they think that they're aligned with Cable, and it's just a big mess of a story. So I hope you enjoy that. Yeah, there's a big showdown between Strife and Apocalypse. A lot of this is to find out more about Strife's origin. Who is he, and why is he around, and what does he want with the X-Men? And then, yeah, look at that freaky looking baby. Anyway, that's your look inside the X-Cutioner song. Well, where does that leave us now in terms of X-Men Epic Collections? How many are out there, and what is the material that it covers? We have the first 3 volumes, and that covers the Stan Lee era of X-Men up until the series was canceled in 1970. And then there's this filler book, Volume 4, that collects a lot of the X-Men appearances while the title was canceled, but before it got relaunched with Giant Size X-Men number 1. This one's called It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn. And this collects Amazing Adventures 11-17, which is an important story because that's when Beast turns furry. Then we've got Volume 5, Second Genesis, which of course is the start of the Claremont Era. This is the new X-Men, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Banshee, all of those guys as they replace the original X-Men team. Then we've actually got a few more volumes from the Chris Claremont era. We've got Proteus, and we've got The Fate of the Phoenix, and Volume 8, I, Magneto. And these are this is the start of the very famous Chris Claremont run. So if you are a fan of these ones, you might want to pick that up. That is 8 volumes of X-Men all in a row for you to enjoy. Then we have this volume here, volume 12, called The Gift. And this was actually the first X-Men Epic Collection to come out. And it hasn't had one before it or one after it. So it kind of stands alone in the X-Men Epic Collections at the moment. Then we skip ahead to volume 17. This is the Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee era, coming up to toward the end of the Chris Claremont stuff in the late 80s. We don't have volume 18 yet. That one's going to be Extinction Agenda, but we do have volume 19. It's called Mutant Genesis, the end of the Chris Claremont era. And then leading into when the title gets rebooted with X-Men #1. And that brings us to volume 20, Bishop's Crossing, the introduction of Bishop. This is when the X-Men are divided into the red and the gold teams. And then, of course, the new one that just came out is volume 21. And so that's it. Look at this stack of X-Men Epic Collections. It's not all complete. We've still got several volumes to go, and we're not exactly sure where the end point of the X-Men Epic Collections is going to be. But we do know in the future there's going to be a follow-up to this volume coming out in 2023. It's called Legacies, and it's going to be volume 22, the one right after this one. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you had a good time watching it. I know I had a good time making it. If you've got any questions, please leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and to follow all my social media. And stay tuned for my next video when I do some more run-throughs of different Epic Collection lines. Thanks for watching.